Hi guys, Chris here from Cowboy Rugby. Going to be taking a look at the All Black team named for the second test against Argentina in the Rugby Championship. Always a good thing when we get the squad namings, exciting times. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. We're in for a treat with two really good games. Going to have to see how the Springboks go against the Wallabies and whether or not the All Blacks can get some redemption against Los Pumas. Before I carry on, guys, please hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button as well. So let's take a look at the squad. So coming into the starting lineup is Tamati Williams. He's in for De Groot, who's out with an injury. I think the All Blacks are really going to benefit from having him in the side. He's a big body. They were out-muscled last weekend. They lost the physical battles. And I think he can get them a bit of go forward off the gain line if they use him as a ball carrier. And other changes to the team, we're seeing two new wings in Caleb Clark and Will Jordan. They've come in for Mark Telea, who's dropped down to the bench, and Severis, who's dropped out of the squad. Maybe a bit harsh on Severis. He's had a fantastic season so far, scored some really brilliant tries, been devastating on attack. But I think Reyes is just testing his options the same way Rassie Erasmus has been doing, trying to build a bit of depth and get some competition in the squad. And it's a good opportunity to see what Will Jordan and Caleb Clark can do. Clark especially, he's a power winger. He's got a point of difference to the other wingers in the squad. Most of them are hot steppers, but he can really bash the door down. And I think we'll see him running off Damian McKenzie's shoulder quite a few times, trying to get involved, and they can build attack around him, getting momentum over the gain line. The All Blacks haven't had a big centre pairing for a long time. They haven't had that big brute like Mao Nonu to really smash down the door for them, or in Ngani Laumapi. So I think Caleb Clark is coming into the squad to fill that role. Elsewhere, when we look through the team, there are going to be a few players playing for their positions, I think, going forward. Tupou Vaa'i knows he needs to have a big game. He was outplayed by Sam Darry last week. Fantastic starting debut. He was just everywhere, getting stuck into the tackles, good ball carries, hitting rucks. And Tupou Vaa'i he went a bit unnoticed there. I know the loose trio are going to be looking for a big game. Blackadder, Papali, and Sevilla were outplayed by the Los Pumas, especially Kremer and Matera. They had huge games, a lot of turnovers, a lot of dominant hits and tackles. And when you look at the All Blacks in comparison, they gave away a lot of penalties. So I think they're really going to need to step up there. Rico Oni has a second opportunity. He's got to have a big game. He's got a few players like Proctor and Leonard Brown breathing down his neck. And Reyes is giving him an opportunity here. It might be that they want his speed and his size, in which case we could be seeing the All Blacks changing their tactics a bit. When I look back at some of my previous videos on the All Black attack, there was a big difference in the way the All Blacks were structuring their attack patterns. So they were lying deep, popping the ball out the back, trying to use decoy runners and trying to get Rico into space to create a bit of havoc. But looking at last week's game against the Pumas, I didn't really see that so much. There were more one-off runners, and it was like they were trying to out-muscle the Pumas physically. And as we saw, it just didn't work for them. So it'll be interesting to see with the new players coming in. Are they going to change tactic as well? Are they going to try use a little bit more deception, a little bit more creativity? Another big talking point is the retention of TJ Perenara. He looked a little bit off the pace last week. He had a kick charge down, another kick partially charged down. We know he's a fantastic player, but I'm wondering if he's still battling with that knee injury a bit. And we'll have to see how he goes this weekend. I'm hoping he has a really good game. This is his last season, and I'd like to see him going out on a high and not battling with that injury, that horrific injury that he got almost 19 months ago, I think now. But anyway, good to see him back in the squad, and it'll be good to see how he goes this weekend, if he can raise his performance to his usual high standards. Another interesting feature is Sam Cane on the bench. Good to see the former captain back. I think they were missing a bit of leadership at the end stages there in the game last weekend. and he can just bring in a calm head as well as the ability to get a few turnovers. Speaking of the tactics the All Blacks used last weekend, when they put a kick through, we saw McKenzie, Barrett, Severe a few times, and Geordie Barrett as well, Bowden, the first Barrett. They were all hanging back there to receive kicks, and the Argentinians countered that by just running the ball back and using the overlaps that were created by those four players being in the backfield. Are the All Blacks going to just leave one or two players back now when they put a kick through and have the rest up in the defensive line? It's going to be interesting to see exactly what they do to try and counter that, the Argentinian rush counter attack, if I can call it that. And yeah, fantastic. The Argentinians really caught them napping with that. It wasn't expected. Usually you see a game of kick tennis, and the Argentinians just said, we're going to run the ball. We're going to see what we can do there. And it was great to see. They were playing really heads-up rugby, whereas I felt the All Blacks were maybe a little bit too structured. We've got fantastic attacking X-factor players in the team, like Will Jordan, Bowden Barrett, Rico, Geordie, McKenzie, Caleb Clark, Perinara. Hell, the whole back line is fantastic, but they need to be able to play that heads-up rugby and actually play what's in front of them. True, you've got to have some structures in the team. You can't just go off half-cocked. But last weekend, they looked a little bit stifled, as if they were scared to try things. So I'm hoping this weekend they'll play with a bit more freedom and really unleash and play the way we know that they can. If they do, then we're in for an amazing test match, because the Argentinians are playing some good rugby at the moment. And the way they're playing, I think they'll be a real challenge to the Springboks as well. One of the players on the bench who's really going to have to up his game a bit is Almur, the reserve hooker. He had two bad line-out throws, which cost the All Blacks some momentum there. And not his usual style. He was fantastic during Super Rugby, perhaps a case of nerves there. But really they'll be looking to him to have a big game this weekend. He's a destructive ball carrier, and usually his set piece is very tidy. So if he wants to crack on and really challenge for that starting hooker position, he's going to have to up his game there and show that he is reliable at set piece. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on the squad for this weekend's game. Would love to hear what you have to say. Let me know in the comments below.